That's awesome, man. And you mentioned Andy Eun,
Yes.
who was he was actually a 2-time guest on this podcast,
Okay.
and he is, and actually trivia, my episode with him about my anxiety is currently the most listened to episode of this podcast.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But he has his own podcast now, the Nabi Design podcast. Shouts out to Andy. If you don't know that podcast, go check it out for sure. You were actually a guest on that for
I
one of the
was,
episodes, and you kind of talked about your experience being coached by him,
Yes.
right? Can you just I don't know. You can divulge as much as you want, as
Right.
little as you want, but just kind of give us how was that experience?
Sure. Yeah. I would say, if you want the full detail, it is in the podcast.
Yeah.
But
Go
actually,
listen. Nabi Design. It's Nabi Design.
yes.
Yeah.
Actually, that podcast with the anxiety,
Uh-huh.
it actually started for me. I guess this podcast is crazy. Your podcast really have challenged me in so many ways.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So with the anxiety, I know you first started with Andy, and then you even had Selena
Yeah.
come
Yep.
in, and so yeah, that kind of started even for me, like this idea of like, oh, do I have anxiety too, or like what are my anxieties? And after that podcast, I actually reached out to him.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
literally, I emailed him
Uh-huh.
and I was like, hey, like, can we meet up?
Uh-huh.
And apparently he said a lot of people actually reached out to him literally after your podcast or
Wow.
something. So he had to literally make a website because there's just so many people emailing him and contacting him.
Uh-huh. I had no idea.
Yeah. And so, we set a time. We met up for the first time, and then I kind of told him my story, like what's going on. And for him, he comes off as a person who does life coaching,
Yeah.
but he also have like a pastoralship,
Yeah.
And so for me, it was really interesting because I've never met anyone who had that. Like I've had people who are pastors, and I've talked to people who are, like counselors and like, life coach, but no one who is able to do both, and I was able to meet with Andy, and he was telling me like this is something that I do. I like to fuse the two, and help people with anxieties or with whatever they're going with their life. And so just kind of the background of why I approached him, and not just anxiety, but I actually had a relationship issue where I didn't, me and my girlfriend, we broke up, and that really affected my I guess identity, and I was like spiraling down this whole like rabbit hole of like depression and everything, kind of like a little bit of what Edward Captivated talked about. And so I had to reach out to someone, and I actually discovered my anxiety is because I have like the fear of like wanting to please people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so that's my biggest anxiety. Like I just feel like I need to please people, which is a conflict of my passion because I want to help people.
Oh, wow.
Right. And so it was a big issue for me. Like I was like, man, is this heart or this desire to help people? Is it still trying to fulfill my anxieties? Right. And that's something I'm wrestling with almost every day. Like everything that I do intentionally, is it really because I want to help them, or am I doing this because I want to seek, their praise, or if I need to have people around me?
Right.
And it's really hard for someone because it's so conflicting almost every day.
Yeah.
And so because of that, like he was able to kind of go through a process of understanding who I am, accepting who I am, and then seeing what I can do, like, through God's vision and his plan for me from the future.
Wow.
And so it was like 6 weeks that we did. And it was like it was like so good because I think it truly transformed me. And I've had multiple people tell me like, wow, Hyun, like you've literally changed within 6 weeks. Like people have literally told me that I'm like not the same anymore, and I would say it was really rough journey because I had to really dig deep. And like it was so funny, one of the first things Andy told me was, he's like, Hyun, every time we meet up, you're probably gonna cry a lot more than you're not. And it was actually true. Like it almost unraveled a lot of things that was hidden, like even you had a little bit of taste of that. Like, but I've had the sessions where it goes so deep that all I could do is just start crying. It was a lot of wounds and like things that I thought was taken care of, or that I didn't even know was there.
Yeah.
You know, that really affected, you know, just everything about me.
Wow.
Yeah. And so through that, you know, coaching, through that session with Andy, I was able to really accept myself and also accept the anxiety and the fear. And I wouldn't say like I fully overcame it, you know, like I'm still battling, but understanding where I stand has really helped me to, change and look
Wow.
positively in life and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, it's crazy.
Yeah. Because one of the things that Selena said,
Mm-hmm.
and she still says it, she just says everyone should do therapy. And it's like life coaching because she feels like people all, like you need the tools to kind of understand the things that they're going through that they might not know. They might think it's just like an emotional thing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like to hear what a huge impact it had on you,
Mm-hmm.
that's like the power of coaching right there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I would agree with Selena. Like, I think everyone, if not coaching, at least talk to someone,
Right.
you know, like unravel some things, you know, and it might get you somewhere. I mean, it might not, but I mean, oftentimes it does, you know, and if anything, it will at least put some questions in your mind to really dig deeper, you know.
Do you feel like your anxiety has gone down a lot? Or?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I feel more confident in doing a lot of things. Yeah. There'll be times where, you know, I still question like my true intentions.
Right.
Or actually, like my biggest fear is I tell people, you know, if I were to pass away, like who will be at my funeral?
Oh, wow.
You know, but even things like that doesn't matter to me anymore. You know, like I've overcame that. You know, that's not important. I feel like anxiety is just one of those things. It's like a big barrier that, you know, outside forces or like the devil or the enemy or whatever you call it, you know, it's just a huge hindrance for a lot of people to even pursue their passion or their dreams, or even to wake up every morning and be happy, you know? And so, yeah, it's hard. I would say you really need to like prepare your heart and prepare yourself for this, because it's going to be pretty rough.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
When you start that route.
Wow. Wow.